Hey Meg, it's June 25th and it's your birthday today! Woo! My last Sisterhood vid was a little bit more negative, and since you're the birthday girl, I wanted to do something positive today, namely Doctor Who! You and I have talked about Doctor Who before. That's putting it mildly. We've traded arguments about River Song, discussed the 10th to 11th Doctor transition, compared Davies to Moffat, and squeed about our love of Tenrose. What I don't think we've talked about is the 9th Doctor. So this time, I wanted to tell you about why he holds such a special place in my heart. Just like you. 9 sadly gets the short end of the stick when it comes to Doctor Who discussions. Partially I think this is because he was only around for one season, but also because I think he's a little harder to like than the 10th and 11th Doctors, who get the majority of the fandom love and attention. 9 is odd while not being endearing the way 10 was, and prickly without being as empathetic as 11. He's rough around the edges and quite damaged, a deliberate choice by Davies for the start of the new series. He's harder to get to know from the part of the audience as well as the characters that he comes in contact with. The Doctor is always a mystery, but 9 is particularly closed off and confrontational. One argument I really hate, though, is that he's somehow too ugly, which is firstly a totally ridiculous argument when we look at the history of Doctor Who. Let's break it down. Super old, less old, old, and not bad but strange. Young, but hello, what was with the celery? Strange. Also strange, not bad but the hair. Then 9, who's supposedly not attractive enough, and only then do we get the pretty boys. And secondly, the Doctor's not supposed to be this desirable character because of his looks. He's intriguing because of his mind and his perspective and his experiences and his actions. As to the other points against 9, the fact that he is less charming and charismatic are things that actually make him a great Doctor, and why I'm glad I saw his Doctor before going on to the seasons with 10 and 11. 9's closed-off emotions and hardened outlook are paired with references to the Time War, constantly reminding you that this is not the beginning of his story by a long shot. You're coming in late in his life in a way, and that's an important reminder even as they were trying to make a fresh start in 2005. It also makes episodes like The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances so rewarding, because you get to see the facade chipping away. The Doctor sees so many bad days and so many deaths that it's become easier for him to expect the worst. But there you get to see what happens when he gets to hope again, and how vulnerable it makes him, but also how strong and euphoric he is when everybody lives. I loved the flashes of humor and silliness that 9 showed, while maintaining the gravity and distance that remind you that the Doctor is someone who travels constantly, and leaving people behind and even watching them die is a regular occurrence. He loves to show people the wonder in the universe, and despite the trauma that he's experienced, he can't keep the smile off of his face when he says, "Now we're in trouble." 9 isn't technically my first Doctor, since the first episode of Doctor Who I ever saw was The Christmas Invasion. Although I adore 10 and 11, as you know, I find myself most strongly defending 9 and what he did for the reboot of Doctor Who. Well, that's it for my short thoughts on the 9th Doctor. I hope you have a wonderful day, perhaps with some Who reruns. I love you, Meg, and go have a banana for your birthday. Good source of potassium.